Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So in this video, I'm going to outline the new changes for both Suzette and Sukiya now that their Stellar Awakening has arrived, as well as showing the old versus new movesets. I will also then cover my thoughts about how to best utilize your All Cosmos or style-specific star charts in order to upgrade, especially these old, I call them retro units. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Okay, so like I said, let's just quickly go over the moves because once we see the update, you won't be able to access this particular description of the moves. So let's go with the Sonic Lance. You can clearly see that. Demonic Thrust. The other two, which is Dark Thrust and Jet Black Thrust, are the weaker versions. We don't need to cover that. We also have some of the other moves, Wind Thrust, Double Thrust, Sonic Lance, which will be upgraded as well. Soul Shoot is also upgraded. And finally, of course, our favorite DPS move, Dragon Assault. So again, feel free to take some screenshots if you want to compare the descriptions before and after. Likewise, we will go directly into Sukiya's as well. So, Howling Surge, of course, is the very useful move over time. Her main DPS moved, Conjugated Deluge, but don't forget Unburdened Embers, as well as some of her other moves here, Flame Dance, Shadow Slash, Scalding Serenade, which is her other 5-star move, and of course, there are 3 versions of that, so no need to go over that. A lot of them will get heavily upgraded in terms of their effectiveness, and note with Sukiya, I don't believe you need to fight the True Manifest, which is out tonight as well, in order to unlock the upgraded moves. And so the only benefit to getting the True Manifest is to get some, the personalized weapon upgraded, which means you get some extra stat boosts if you choose to equip on the personal weapon as opposed to some of the other weapons out there. All right, so we are back. And so as of this update, we can now purchase up to 3, well, I guess you can say 2 Dragoon Star Charts, which is obviously a special style-specific item to awaken Suzette's Awakening form. And of course, Mirasame Star Chart, which is for Sukiya. And so, right off the bat, I'm going to buy my 2 for my waifu. Grab those. And once it's bought, it does disappear just like the other items that you can buy a maximum of. Now, for those who've never Stellar Awakened anything before, and I think this is the first update by which we can actually manually Stellar Awaken a unit, other than Aldo itself and some of the free units, of course. We want to see what it's like to upgrade a gacha unit. And so it's the same thing as before. You can press Stellar right here. And press the middle. Now, remember that if you have been watching my videos all along, and definitely my Back to Basics video on how to get your All Cosmos Star Charts, make sure you catch that video if you haven't already. You should now have 2 in your possession, 1 from the free and 1 from your monthly free trials. Again, watch the video for more information. Since I've also bought 2 Dragoon Star Charts, I can do it any which way. Remember that since we already have a 5-star normal style of Suzette, you can either go 1, 2 of the style specific one, you can go 2 All Cosmos one, or you technically do 1 of each, okay? So any combination of the 2 is fine as long as you get 3 total. And again, hopefully you did side grade or already have a natural 5-star version of Dragoon. My recommendation for all retro units is, if you have the Sabira's gems, buy the 2 star charts that way and preserve your All Cosmos star charts. Now, there may be exceptions, especially as tempting as it is for Suzette, being that Suzette is not only the first one other than Sukiya, but just from her moves, broken as heck. We'll go over those moves very shortly. And keep in mind that, just so you know, I'm just going to go back to the unit itself. all the skills are upgraded regardless of whether or not you Stellar Awaken. So we can just quickly go over this. Remember earlier in the video we did show that. So note that the Demonic Thrust is now dual powered int debuff, which is ridiculous. And of course, Mega Poison and Pain, preemptive. And why not? Inflicts Break now. The Wind Thrust is slightly more powerful, nothing really. The Double Thrust now deploys Wind King's Stance, which is Wind Zone. And again, remember, on the first turn AF, you can actually use her to deploy Wind Zone, unless you use things like Awakened units such as a Cesta to start off with Awakened Zone, or maybe turn 2 with AS Melody, and so on and so forth. The Sonic Lance is also pretty broken. Not only that is this just a normal attack, it gives everyone first strike for 3 turns. And what that just means is you will always be preemptive over the enemy, especially bosses and things like that, as long as your team has this active. Also note that you can do this on the first turn AF, and so you'll be able to set your preemptive units right off the bat, which is very, very nice. Now, if you're using this for farming moves, then you can make sure that you apply either a Falcon Badge on Suzette to lead off and make sure her speed is faster, or she's the only one with preemptive, and then everyone else can follow along in turn and blow everything out of the water for mobs or even, low turn clear kind of effects. Soul Shoot is a self-boosting move now. It does give MP recovery, 50 power and speed for 3 turns. I don't believe that move is actually very, very good because you should have other team members boosting this. Now, keep in mind that when I do finally do a 5-star review again of the Stellar Awaken Suzette, I'll talk about this more in detail. And finally, Dragon Assault, you see much more damage, multiplier times 16, by the way, instead of times 9. Now, the other reason why I wanted to show this as well is note that Sukiya has been upgraded and her moves have been reworked, and this is going to occur with all retro Stellar Awaken units. So, you can always check it out before you decide to pay the 2 additional Stellar Awakening items through the style-specific All Cosmos star charts. And so I'll just scroll down quickly. Scalding Serenade, of course, the 5-star move. You can see that it's fire type res down up to 100%, and strength increase, so on and so forth. Now it's also not, instead of a non-type one, it is a fire slash move. Some of her moves are now preemptive. You got the Howling Surge, which also does a modest dual debuff, and of course, Conjugated Deluge, which is her main DPS move. Okay, so anyways, back to Suzette, since we're talking mostly about the actual mechanism. So, again, do not use your All Cosmos star charts for retro units. The reason being is that retro units will always have their star charts available to be purchased within the Sabira's Gems store, aka the Napu Emporium. You can't say the same for gacha units. So for example, say you decide to pull on the newest unit, which in this case is Winefica coming up, and you hit her as a 4.5, or on an off banner in the future as a 5-star. By holding those All Cosmos star chart, you'll then still be able to upgrade the unit at any time to full Stellar Awakening 3 out of 3. If you use the All Cosmos star charts now, newer gacha units, if they're not Stellar Awakening, you'll have no way to awaken them since you can't buy them in the store, at least at the point of this video. Maybe WFS will rework the system, but as it stands, this buying back of these items for these star charts or for style-specific units are only for retrofits, okay? So that's one thing to keep in mind. Also, if you're going to decide to awaken a unit, do it all in one go. You don't ever want to have like, oh no, I'm stuck with 2 kind of thing. Because if you do that, then you're just going to be stuck with a unit. Now, it looks like you cannot do that, so that's good. They changed that. I think that before you were actually able to apply just one. In this case, we're going to apply both. So remember, if you are going to do it, take away notes, use style specific items only. Do not use all Cosmos star charts. Save those for gacha units. As a free to play, knowing that I'm only getting 1 Cosmos star chart per month, I would highly recommend you follow along that, unless you're a dual subscription supporter, in which case you will get, I believe, 2.2 per month. 1 free anyways, and 1.2 from the trials starting in January. I don't even believe it's up to date right now. Okay, so, and also one last thing to mention. Remember that you saw that it only costs 400 Sabira gems for each of these 2 items. You earn 120 per week if you play through the dungeons enough, which is 12 times, I guess, currently. Now, in the new year with the subscription, you can, if you subscribe to both, you'll earn 15 per run and a maximum of 180 per week. So if you're a subscriber, you can essentially earn, both style-specific star charts per month, whereas for free-to-plays, you only get one every 3.5 weeks or so. Okay, so no more talking. And we're just going to awaken this. Again, let me know in the comments below if you do have any questions, but this is how we're going to do it. And again, just double check that you are using the right items. Do not use the Odd Cosmos. Boom. Oh, my waifu. That looks so nice. Also, remember that when you do stars align this item, you will have her having extra voice lines when she's attacking, when she's in the party, or, encountering her in the field. The other way, remember, to get an extra Stellar Awakening gauge is to hit one on the off banner. Now, I'm not planning to summon on Suzette, which is why I'm doing this before my videos or anything like that. And I do have an 80, Suzette, so I will be able to fully awaken all her abilities. In this case, note that when you do only have lesser light, let's just say you only have a 16 or 30 or whatever, you should always buy, just like with Aldo, buy the ones directly across from him. All the 6 right here before expanding. These are only 1 to cast, and then eventually you'll get further along. After that, you really want to power up next your Stellar skill. These do cost quite a bit more, but they enhanced your move by quite a bit. This is the Stellar move, which is basically the super move that you can do either outside AF or inside AF. And remember, there's a separate move and can be activated almost like preemptively instead of like regular. Okay, so again, you can see it's 1/1, and then these one cost 3. And again, each of the Stellar units have their own kind of abilities to charge up their Stellar gauge more. Okay. And then you get some stat bonuses, and again, when you activate the Stellar Burst, you can see that certain abilities are affected. Each one is specific to the player. So I'm just going to quickly just get everything done. So generally, again, as a review, you really want to get the 6 right around it to unlock the 3 abilities enhanced, plus the Stellar skill, and try to save up enough to kind of get to these points here, okay? And these 4 points. So if you calculate it, the 6 around here, the main ones are 1 times 6, which is 6. Each of these are 1 each, which is a total of 10. And then these were 3 each. So, you got 16, and then you need another 12. So about 28 or 30 light to really get everything enhanced. Anyways, for these end stats, obviously you're going to get a lot more out of it if you have an 80 light or better unit. Not necessary, but, the purpose of the video is just to kind of demonstrate in a gacha unit what to expect with that, as opposed to Aldo, where most of us can grind up to 255. Let's be honest, most people won't have a full board unless you've been playing the game for a very long time, or heavy spender where you have like 255 Suzettes and stuff like that. As a side comment, I wouldn't recommend using light items on the unit itself. Now, as a free trial, you can earn 5 light per turn, per month. However, again, you only want to do that towards units you already know you're going to Stellar Awaken for sure. So there you go. That's the stats with all of the purchases available. And of course, like I said, you don't have to Stellar Awaken the unit in order to get the revamped moves. Anyways, hope this answers some questions about what to expect with the Stellar Awakening system for retro units, how to best utilize those Sibir gems and all Cosmos star charts, as well as style-specific star charts, and whether or not you want to go by pulling for the unit or side grading. And I always advise, do not use your Chrono Stones to pull on units you already have. That's a surefire way to get broke. Like, there are banners, I don't even have to tell you about them, but I'll talk about that in my video a little bit later. But I mean, you could summon on this. It's just that I don't even know why you would do that, because you already have very few stones with the way that Awakening is required to hit. And As I'll talk about in my Should You Summon video, these also don't have a pickup bonus either. You only get +1 each way, okay? Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.